Okay, we are live everywhere. Thousands of people are watching us, Kara.
Yay. Let's do it. They
We
got to
are
hear this. They
we
gotta...
are the blonde hair, black shirt, fuzzy microphone gang
Who
today.
wants to join our gang?
You don't have to have any of those things to join our gang. If you want, we would actually open it for anyone, anyone who wants to join that gang. But welcome to Conversations with Women. I think this is episode, I want to say this is episode 4. I think this is 4.
Yeah, it
So it's
sounds right.
episode 4 of Conversations with Women podcast. That's like my cool thing that I created because I feel like these conversations that I get to have with erotic women all the time are so freaking profound that everybody needs to hear them because I don't know that a lot of people get to have exposure to women who are in touch with their sexuality and the eros in their body, casually conversing about their thoughts on life. I don't think that a lot of people necessarily get to hear that in that way and feel that. So that's why I created it. But this is also kind of episode 2 of me and Kara's show that we created a few months back, which I feel like was in June, like late June, maybe, called Connection.
July.
July, called Connection and Cacao. You
I
have
have
cacao.
I have cacao.
Okay, good. This is wonderful. So we kind of we sort of started an Aubrey and Kara show as well back in July, where we were talking about it was kind of what one of the things that inspired me to do this every Friday podcast. Because I think really well, so I'll let Kara introduce herself in a second, but I'm going to say things about her first. Um, so I'm going to talk about Kara for a second. So Kara is what I call the woman whisperer. So you guys have heard of like the horse whisperer and the dog whisperer. Kara's the woman whisperer. She just has a way with the ladies. Boy, if you were a lesbian, you would clean house.
I really would, man. I really would. I was known as the lesbian in high school.
Because you were surrounded by women who were in love with you.
I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't know. I just yeah, but I was like, I don't understand why I have that. I just thought it was because I wore like thrift store clothes and didn't care what guys thought. Like,
Oh, I see. Okay.
but I actually really was really into guys. I don't know.
That's so cool that you didn't care what guys thought all the way back in high school. I totally cared what guys thought. I love that.
I mean, I
Um,
secretly did underneath, but I wanted them to think I didn't, you know?
oh, okay. Maybe we talk a little bit about that today. But in a
Mm.
minute, in a minute. Okay, so Kara's the woman whisperer. She's just a natural genius with women. They feel a lot of, I mean, I'll speak for myself. Like there's this feeling around Kara where I often feel like I can relax really deeply into my own sense of womanhood around Kara, and I feel a lot of permission to be myself in a relaxed way, where I can just kind of sink down into my body and feel my senses. And she has this way about how she handles her space and her environment and the people in it, where she's kind of always subtly like taking care of your various senses, or feeding your senses with something or other. Like she's offering you cacao, or she's offering you like food, or she's like, burning there's some good smelling thing in the room, or there's like some soft pillow or blanket around or something like that. Like she's just very like tactile in some way that, but it's not overdone. It's just like a subtle feeling in the air where you're like, I'm a woman and I can sink into my senses around this person and just be me. And the next thing you know, you're just talking about any and all of your depths of your being with her because you just feel happy. that's that's kind of what it's like to be around Kara. So okay, I got to say nice things about you. Now you're allowed to introduce yourself if you would like to.
Wow, that was awesome. I haven't quite heard it in that way before. You say really generous things about me often, but that's really beautiful. And it helps me to thank you for accurate reflection, we call it, right? In, in the Eros world, or with the in the world of the erotic, when you have someone who's will say exactly what it feels like to be around you and reflect that back to you, so you can kind of see yourself through other people's eyes. And um it's funny because I think I kind of do all those things for myself, and then they just end up impacting the people around me. So yeah,
I think that's why they're powerful.
yeah, yeah, agreed. I mean, that's what we do as women, right? Um, just effortlessly do overflow to the people around us. I was just writing my bio yesterday for the Eros platform to update it, and usually I hate writing my bio, but this time it was really fun. And I was like, wow, I've come a long way, because I've been writing bios for a really long time. And normally I'm like, this is so painful, like trying to describe myself to people. But I was like, oh no, this is actually fun. Like, what are the words that I can use that I love to use, that I want people to hear, and like put them in my bio, right? So it's so funny, in a way, it's a little bit like what you just described. Like, that's the things that I like, that I want other people to be able to experience. Like, I want to share it. So now I'm claiming my role as a revolutionary, Aubrey.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That is what I call myself now, an erotic revolutionary.
You've been erotically radicalized.
Yes, exactly. And I've been studying and teaching in the realm of with esoteric studies, like, you name it. I've studied it for since I was in my early 20s. So like 25 years or more. And right now I teach S Factor, I teach orgasmic meditation. I'm one of the leaders of Women Over Dinner nonprofit. And and I have my other things that I do too, that I weave in, like human design and astrology, and everything that I do is for the aim of women's, well, really the world's liberation. But we'll start with women's, like, erotic liberation, because I really do think that women will liberate the world. If women are free, the world will be free. So, but everything that I do is towards that aim. So that's the revolution.
I love that so much.
And
Yeah.
I live in Los Angeles, so I don't know, it's a fun place to do that.
Truly, yeah. I feel the depth of it when you say it like that, like everything I do is for that aim. And I feel the same way. And this is why our paths in this life overlap so heavily, because coming from totally different places in the world and in our lives, this is where we arrive to the same conclusion, which is like, women have to be liberated for the world to be liberated. Women got to go first.
Yeah.
She said it a little with a softer heart than I did. I'm I'm not a jaded per se, but sometimes I'm like, woo, this is gonna be a lot of work with the ladies. Kara's like, I just think women really have the power to liberate the world. And I just think that's totally what we're going to do. And I'm like, ladies, we got to go first. Let's get a move on.
You're like, wrap it up. Come on.
Nothing's going to move till we fucking move, y'all. Oh, we're streaming. Oh, God. No swearing. No swearing. Like my favorite thing to swear on these. And I can't, because YouTube will get mad.
Okay. Sorry, YouTube. I just think
yeah,
that
go ahead.
I love what you do. It's different than what I do, was similar but different, right? So because you're really on the very intense front lines, I would say. Like, you talk to people online in the comments in these like very charged but true posts, right? There's so many, the Eros platform, and then Nicole posts a lot of incredible content, and I just see you go to town on there, and I'm just like, go, Aubrey. Like, I think we all have our realms, and I don't quite invite that kind of volley in that type of realm with people. But I see you win hearts and minds there, and I'm 100% there for it. But my realm, you know, tends to be more in like the I don't know, I guess maybe a little softer, or it's a little bit more like, come on, ladies, let's you can do it, you know. Um, but I mean, it takes all of us, right? So we
Oh
all
yeah.
have really important roles.
Oh yeah. It takes all of us, and we need even more. We need more erotic women in the world. Ladies, get connected to your eros. Join the revolution.
That's right.
This is part of your skill set, I feel like, is like I feel like women begin to put the math together of um you're such a bridge between many different worlds.
Hmm.
And you know, and you embody the fact that the same essential solutions are needed across the board in order for every spot that women are experiencing this, like this lack of liberation, let's say. Every place where women are experiencing it actually all comes down to the same thing, and you know that and you embody that, and I feel like women are able to connect the dots around you because it just starts to make sense the more time they spend around you. And you'll definitely, I mean, I've seen you break down very elegantly break down, you know, like the math of things, but you're also, I think, even more than that, you're more of a shower than a teller, which I really respect. I'm always trying to cultivate more of that. I'm probably more of a teller than a shower because I like words, and I like, you know, I'm really into language, and I'm really into communication, and I'm really into like debating and stuff like that with people. And so I end up kind of being more teachery in a certain way that I don't even intend to, but I'm just more of a talker kind of in that way. Like that's I tend to like lead with that a little more. And you're like, you demonstrate all of the principles of Eros with how you show up in the world and how you follow your desire, how you treat yourself, how you treat your environment, you know, your relationship with your husband, your relationship with your friends. There's something about, like, I don't know what it is, man. You really are like you just have catnip for women. I don't know what it is. It's literally you being you. And women are like, but what are you
Cat.
into? What are you into? Because I also want to now be into it.
True.
It's just, it's really wild. Like,
It's funny. It's like, God, I love the talk that you and Maya did on flirting because I think it can really be related to that. You know, like I heard you talk about, you're like, I love to flirt verbally with people and banter and just see kind of like what, you know, what back and forth can we have that really, and I'm just like, oh God, no, 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 I cannot. Like that is not my realm. My flirting is totally in the body. Like I'm definitely much more like flirting with like my eyes or what I'm wearing or my energy, or like I'm kind of more the flirt of like if I'm running away from you, you know I like you. I'm kind of like that kind of flirt. So I that's beautiful. That's another amazing reflection. Thank you. It helps me learn to see myself more clearly too, because I am very body based, you know, like S Factor is a very body based practice, and I was always into sports, and I am kind of like words are not necessarily my strong point. I'm a little bit like a sexy trucker or something like that in my in the way that I communicate. But
all I can picture is that pink baseball cap that you have. I
exactly.
don't remember what's written on it, but
And
it's
with
so,
the heart, the pink
I
heart,
think,
the
yeah, I
heart
think it's just a
baseball
heart.
hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Exactly. Like where I'm just kind of like, it's more like my body speaks for me. And I like that's where it feels like I can be the most expressive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also kind of like also my kryptonite in a way, probably my deepest insecurities are around my body too.
Mm.
And so it's a very interesting dynamic at play that it's like both my power source and my place of like deepest practice.
Wow. Yeah, totally. Right. Oh my gosh. Women's relationship with our body. That's like a whole thing. Will you say a little bit more on just like, I don't know, the importance of women's relationship with our body?
Yeah, and the, masculine feminine dynamic. So the body is the feminine and the mind would be the masculine if we were to break things down into like polarities. And so we all have masculine and feminine inside of us. And so our bodies would be kind of like the feminine, the nonverbal, the little animal that has needs and desires and pleasures. But it's like life wouldn't be life without it. So you absolutely need it, even though it's kind of like messy and inconvenient. And it also contains, like it also is life. So I think that women not being connected to our bodies or being so obsessed with controlling them or making them smaller, or it's like where we lose, or it's where we forget our power, because our culture is so obsessed with conforming our bodies to a certain beauty standard or, being more convenient. And it just won't. I just think that it's a place that I have spent so much time and energy just wasted on obsessing over is my body going to be like attractive to other people. It kind of loops back to in high school, where I think that I was a bit rebelling in my own way against this idea that my body had to be loved by everyone and like meet a certain standard and be acceptable. And it just wasn't. I didn't have that body type in high school. Like I was curvier and bigger. I mean, I was 12, people were calling me Dolly Parton when I was 12. So like it was a very complicated kind of like relationship that I had with my body. And I was raised, by born again Christian missionaries, which were very much like shaming of the body and like controlling of the body, and the body being honestly the essence of all sin. So that was a very complicated relationship to kind of navigate that as a kid, and navigate that as a young adult. And so, yeah, I just tried all different ways to how to understand the fact that my body had this power over the world. Like I would get hit on by guys, or like jealous women were jealous, or there was this power that my body had that I didn't really understand, that also kind of felt like seemingly from other people I was told was bad, right? But then I couldn't control it. Like, it wasn't really anything I could do about it. So I think maybe wearing like baggy overalls and Adidas and like Grateful Dead t-shirts was one of the ways that I rebelled against society or culture, or people telling me I had to like dress to look a certain way to be acceptable and attractive. And I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm not going to stop caring, but I'm not going to, I don't know, that way wasn't working for me. I'm just going to try something else. So that's one of the things that I've done a lot in life, is try things. So I don't know why this brings me to thinking about this specific podcast. I just thought this was a genius idea when I heard you say like, we're just going to have erotic ladies talk to each other and people can listen. And I was like, oh, wow, that is phenomenal. Like, because I sit and talk with my ladies all the time, but no one gets to hear it. And it's always like, it's very different. It's not the way I hear other people talk. It's not the way people talk on the radio or TV or social media. It's very different. So
It is really different. Yeah,
mhm.
it's I think um the distinction, as far as I can tell, is there's like an overt acknowledgement of, like, women are so mycelial in how we are. We're like mycelium network. Everything's like a mycelium network, but women in particular are just so, there's so much exchange through the interconnected roots of being, you know, all the time. And I feel like erotic women know that, feel that, like our senses have been kind of honed, you know, pretty keenly to be able to actually like feel that exchange at a deep level. And so when I connect in with other erotic women, it's almost like there's like a, you know, I can feel the connection. I'm like gesturing to my whole torso right now, like my belly and my solar plexus, like like somewhere in there, there's, and my heart, like there's almost like this channel that is so visceral to me that I feel with erotic women or women who are tuned into their bodies. And so the exchange is very potent because it's not just up here. It's not an exchange of ideas. It's an exchange of emotion and energy, and like it's an imprint. I mean, it's a huge, deep imprint of a person with like every sentence that they say. And so they're feeding you, you're feeding them. It's sort of a feast. Like the whole thing ends up feeling like a feast, you know, and it can become such an art to um receive that and also like offer back, and it's just a, but I feel like it's like the natural feminine way of being too, you know. Like one thing that I've come to realize really through being one of the leaders alongside you with Women Over Dinner and the women's movement and stuff, more and more I'm realizing all the things that women sort of get accused of, you know, like competition and jealousy and like backbiting and these type of things that traditionally women, people kind of will just, including women, will just kind of be like, oh, that's just how women are. It's almost like it's written off in culture, like that's just how women are. And what I've realized is it's so deeply not how women are. And it's more like how captive tigers are or something. It's a behavior that occurs because of, you know, captivity, because of a lack of liberation, because of like um that feeling inside of yearning to be more connected to our own erotic nature. This is how I would say it. And not being connected to it, you know. And so then all of these very actually strange, unnatural behaviors develop. And then those can prevent us from feeling that like visceral mycelial feeling connection and just kind of having a feast all the time. And to me, erotic women getting together, it's always a feast. It's literally
Yes.
like coming into your house and you're coming into my house and there's just cheese platters everywhere and there's like fruit. There's like the grapes dangling off of a platter in that sort of ancient Greek looking way, you know. There's like pouring delicious wine, ancient wine from a fountain, and there's like
Mead. It's
cow
mead. It's honey mead.
and honey mead, and you know, it's like that's really how it feels every time erotic women gather.
Mhm.
And that's, I think, just women's natural way of being.
Mm, agreed. I think that that's just okay. So this reminded me of this all kind of ties together because one of my favorite books of all times is Moon Magic. And then Sea Priestess is the one that came before that, right? But you know, Moon Magic's kind of the best of the line. So I really learned a lot about being a woman when I read that book, because she even talks about it, like she like spilled the tea, right? She was like, look, if you want to have an impact on the world around you, you have to curate yourself, right? There's things that you can do that will have an impact on the world around you. And you can choose how you want to impact the world around you. Do you want to impact the world around you as, do you want to dominate it? Or do you want to like make it happy? Do you want to make it more beautiful? Do you want to make it more like, do you want to inspire people to creativity? Like, what do you want to do? Like the way you dress, the way your home, your surroundings, how you fill it, the activities that you do, the makeup that you wear, the scents, you know, everything has an impact. And then you can use that for good, basically. You can use that to have a beneficial impact on the people around you. And that blew my mind because I was kind of like, you know, being so much of the body, I was like, oh God, like I've been experiencing this my whole life. Like, I think it's why I remember when I was a freshman, I would curl my hair every morning and I would like take a shower, wash my hair, curl it, dry it, curl it, put makeup on, dress, you know, in my finest every single morning and arrive to woo the men. I just wanted as much male attention as I could get. And female attention, because if you got the female attention, you also would get the male attention, right? So it was like, that's how I would show up. That didn't quite pan out the way I was hoping to in lots of different ways. I got all kinds of attention that didn't like at all. It wasn't all good. And, you know, I decided to try something different. So I think it was around sophomore year that I started like just not curling my hair and and I started looking more 90s, like way more 90s with like the dark eyeliner and the kind of baggy clothes. And I don't know, it started changing. And I really took on this other persona of like, I don't actually care what you think, because then I would get a different reaction from people. And that was a really interesting thing to experience, like my power that I had, and how that would impact the way I would interact with people and how they would interact with me. So I mean, it was years later that I finally read Moon Magic, and it like clicked for me, and I was like, oh wow, okay, this is something I can use intentionally and I could do intentionally. And I think that's part of the catnip in a way, but I do think that is naturally feminine. I think we all have that. Everyone can do that. And it just depends on what you're using it for. Are you using it to try to like, you know, build your own, like amass resources of like attention and like, I don't know, love and whatever.
Like bolstering your sense of self with external praise kind
and
of thing.
validation and yeah. Or are you using it to, you know, have people be more peaceful, more joyful, be more inspired towards revolution? Like, that's what I want. I'm like, come on, ladies, we can do it, right? There's some shit going down. It is not awesome. We can make a difference. Like, let's, you know, that's, you know, you want to know what I'm doing, because really I want all people to be free. So I want it to be like, I want them to know how good it is. Right. So I just kind of use my feminine wiles for good.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, you're just describing the boots on the ground practice to my mind of a bodhisattva vow, you know, in Buddhism, this idea of bodhisattva vow, like I vow to bring enlightenment to all beings before I'll ascend to nirvana, you know, however many lifetimes it takes, I'll keep reincarnating on this earth in order to get out of suffering, the causes of suffering, and to help get others out of suffering. And you're describing such a beautiful feminine version of that. You know, it's like, it's not, it's the opposite of a bypass. I feel like a lot of spirituality stuff like that, like a vow like that can become kind of a spiritual bypass for a lot of people. And it's the exact opposite. It is boots on the ground. It is, you know, figuring out how to curate your identity in the world and your kind of your presentation in the world in such a way that inspires others, you know, towards that aim of liberation, of ultimate liberation for all as well.
Exactly. I mean, because I've taken that bodhisattva vow, and that is why, you know, why I do everything. And so I think you can tell if what someone's ultimate mission is in this life or ultimate goal, because it's in how they feel. And like I just love organic erotic because to me that is a company based in what I'm talking about, where it's all about how it feels rather than how it looks. And okay, and this is a really great point, because I know a lot of women people who act, who it's like the performance of feel good, the performance of I'm doing good for the world, or I want to help, or I'm peaceful, or I'm generous, or and it's like an act, but um there's actually when you're actually doing it, it's going to it feels, it's a felt sense rather than look any particular way, right? It's like, and to me it's a little bit like, all right, I'm just gonna share a secret of part of the reason why I'm married. Is
Okay.
because it's a woman trap. Like I'm like, I kind of dangle my relationship in front of women because, okay, one
Oh
of my
my God,
favorite
this is
things.
amazing. Okay, keep
Yeah,
going, keep
yeah,
going.
I don't think I've ever said this before. I noticed this last night. Matt and I went out last night for dinner. We went to chiropractic and then we went out to eat at Republique. It's this amazing French restaurant here in LA. I've never been before. It was incredible. But I could see like people looking at us like and women kind of like with googly eyes, like, oh, like I want that, like the romance of like a man, relationship kind of thing. And I talk to women all the time. Like when I have cacao with women, when I hang out with women, I always say, like, what's your grandest desire? What's your grandest vision?
Mm.
And like the number one thing women say to me is, I want a husband and a baby. And I'm like, I mean, that's great, but what else? Like that, you can have that, but like, is that, I know that's not what we're, the only thing we're here for as women. Like we're here for so much more than that. Like it can be that too, but like think bigger, and like I understand that because there was a time in my life that's all I wanted. I was obsessed. I didn't, not so much the baby, but the man. I was obsessed about getting a man. Even when I looked like a lesbian, all I wanted was a man. And I was married for 10 years, and I had a boyfriend for 7 years, and then I've been married again for 10 years. So like I'm pretty consistently am someone who's in relationship, right? But what I realized is like it's a little bit for me now, kind of like, okay, so feeling good as a woman has people around you feel good because you just pour out, but not if you're acting. Not if you're like, I take baths all day and get facials and like, and just look beautiful. That's not actually feeling good. It's not recreation, right? It's like, it actually takes practice. Practice in your body is the thing that has you feel good. So it's the same thing with my relationship. Like my marriage and my relationship only works because of practice. Like it's built on this foundation of practice. Like we practice Om every single day. We're Oming together, and we study the erotic principles, and we do 12 steps, and it's just endless practice, honestly. And that's what it feels, even like S Factor. It's super fun, but that is practice. And then we build community together, and we do Tibetan practices together. So like it is a life of practice, and it's a little bit like a bait and switch in a way, because I'm like, look, ladies, you can have an amazing husband that is like, has his exquisite attention on you, which is everything that a woman wants. And you can have a beautiful home, and you can have a job that you love, and an amazing community. And then, and then I like give them like the whatever it is, the secret to it, which is, yeah, but you have to like, it's practice. It's not gonna be recreation. It's not gonna be like the hair, the makeup, the nails, the clothes. It's gonna be what you do when you're alone, how you build your internal world. That's the thing that's actually gonna get you everything that you want. But the external trappings don't come first. It's like you have to build the internal world first. You have to have that practice in your body.
That was a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I've definitely never heard you share that one before.
No, I think I'm kind of just realizing it too, you know?
No, okay, okay.
On some levels, I'm just letting myself know, like kind of the secret of what I've been doing.
Yeah.
um,
It's funny because it definitely points to this place where one discovery I know that I've had so many different times and in different ways on the erotic path and seen other women have is that so much of what we do as women is really for other women. When we think it's for men, it's really for other women.
oh, yeah, that's so good. Yes.
I see it more in little memes on social media and stuff, you know. Like I think I saw one the other day that said something like, am I getting dressed up to go out to the club tonight so that a cute guy hits on me? Yes. But am I mainly getting dressed up so that women might compliment me? Absolutely. It was
Yeah.
like that, you know, and I was like, oh, we're all figuring it out that it's like we peacock for each other more than anything, and we kind of use men to do that a lot of the time, you know, like like I've oh my god, I've done this so many times. It took me so long to figure out that for me personally, at least, almost having a boyfriend at all in the traditional sense is literally just showing off my prowess to capture a man to other women. It's literally just like, look what I got. Look what I did. Look what I hunted.
Totally.
Look what I
Yeah.
hunted and
And
dragged
how
to your
great he
doorstep.
is.
Praise me for hunting this, you know, like, and
How
thank you,
he
that's
has a
amazing.
reflection on me. You know,
Yeah,
that is how great I am.
yeah. And I think that my as I've filled up on Eros over the years, I've filled up in my practices in my erotic practices over the years, including like very much first and foremost orgasmic meditation. My need to do that has decreased. And so my relationships with men feel different now. Like I feel, frankly, I wasn't even treating them as humans. I think women objectify men just as deeply, if not more than men objectify women. I think men's objectification of women is so overt. Like it's
100%.
everybody knows about it. It's all just out there.
100%.
It's very overt, you know. But women's is deep and kind of hidden, and really relentless and intense. And I definitely used to do that, and I feel like it took many years before I was like, you know what? What if I treated you like a person, like a whole person that has feelings and needs of your own, you know, and wasn't just either like trying to seduce you or like trying to like control you in some way or trying to withdraw from you in order to like get something I want from you or trying to be accommodating or over giving in order to control you. You know, it gets very tricky. And so I think it changed my relationships with men completely to fill up on Eros and realize that I don't have to peacock in that way of like hunting and capturing a man to show off to the women. I can have direct relationships with women. I can just have really direct relationships with women where we feast with each other and we're just full with sisterhood and like that beautiful honeypot exchange of erotic connection, you know, between women. And then I and then it changes how I relate with women about men, and it changes how I relate with men.
100%. That's so good. And I love how you just like come out and say it so clearly and cleanly. I mean, that it's something that I've been unraveling the layers of in my relationship for the past 12 years or just in my life. You know, like basically when I met Matt, I was on the hunt for an OM practice partner and I did not want to date. I mean, I did not want a boyfriend. I didn't actually want a boyfriend. I had had enough of being in monogamous relationships. And I was like, I want to date the world. That's like the location that I was at. I was like, but we'll start with because I don't really know how to do that. So we're just going to start with and build our way up to that. And then we ended up becoming deep practice partners. And then, I just think our conditioning kicks in, and, it's operating all the time. And so, we ended up, I was, our whole relationship has been built on this practice of Om and the principles of Eros. Like when we got married, I actually was kind of devastated when I felt the desire to get married, and I didn't actually know why. Like I started crying because I was always like, I will never get married again. And you should know that about me. I told him that when we first started dating. I was like, I'll never have kids. I'm never getting married. And then through, desire practice, I was like, shit, there is this desire in me to get married. I don't even know. This is awful. Why do I want to do this? Like I did this already. I just think this is a terrible idea. But okay, let's try it, right? And we took, our vows are actually like kind of erotic principle vows. Like I vow to follow desire no matter what, and that everything we do is going to be like for the relation, like kind of good for the relationship rather than like good for us as individuals. Like our third, that idea of something greater than us being guiding us. And so that has kind of like, I think helped us reveal all of our conditioning as time has gone on. And for me to understand like how part of the relationship, not 100%, but part of it is this whole, like, I'm a bit of a shill, or I'm a bit of a, like walking in between worlds, where it's like having a husband buys me access into certain areas, or legitimizes me with women in some way, that they're like, oh, she has what I want, but it's not what she thinks it is. And so there is a way my relationship plays that role. It's not the only role my relationship plays. Like one of the things I love about my relationship with Matt is that we are practice partners. Like I have like a stroker on tap in a way, you could say. And of course we have our own practices, and he's not just going to just, whatever. It's a dynamic relationship, and and where we learn every day how more and more to be less dependent on each other. Like I learn how to lean less on him to like for the masculine of my life, where I can have my own healthy inner masculine, and lean less on him to be like, I'm a good woman because I have a husband. Like I'm legitimate as a woman, or I've arrived, or I've achieved something. I'm okay. Like the whole idea, like, as long as you like do yoga once a day, you feel okay as a, like, oh, well, at least I did yoga, right? Well, there's like something about having a husband that's like that too. Like, oh, well, at least I have a husband. So like, I'm doing okay. There's that woman conditioning, which I don't think is true at all. And I really think, but in a way, I'm a little bit like, I can see that aspect of the relationship too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, culture really rewards for that, for sure. Like, oh, you got a husband, you're set. You're all set. Good job. All set. And I think that's I think there's a few different things, but I think that's one of the reasons why there's sort of this idea that women like let themselves go after that in marriage sometimes. So like gain weight, or like not dress as nice, or like kind of like let themselves go in some type of way or whatever. I think that also has to do with a woman conditioning thing of overspending on a man. Like genuinely, we will like pour our life force and our power into the man in our lives in order to avoid having to hold the full weight of our power and our desire and everything. And he becomes, this is actually a way that we misuse men pretty deeply. He becomes like a place to just dump it, and neither person benefits at all. Like he gets inflated. This is how men's egos inflate. If you ever meet a man and his ego is just unbelievably inflated, it's because a woman or women dumped a bunch of their power into him and inflated it. That's not random. It might started with his mother, so maybe it was from a young age that he had it.
Yes.
But that's not random. Women do that. That's how that happens with men. Like that's how they get that way, and then women will not feel like they have enough energy or power to show up to their life, like, and take care of themselves as well as they did when they were on the hunt. And when we're on the hunt, this is why we like hunting, because it draws out, we think it's to get the antelope or whatever he is, right? To get the boy antelope. But it's really because it draws out the best of us, you know. And so this is what's hot about men in Eros. And this is what's hot about your guys' relationship, you know, because you're friends and practitioners first and foremost, is what I keep hearing you say, which I really love and admire. And but this is what's cool about men in Eros, is if they get the skill over time through practicing orgasmic meditation and like studying these principles, and especially like the man-woman relating stuff, to play a woman really well and draw out the hunter, you know, like not give her everything at once all the time, everything, you know, like all the attention, like give like 99% of the attention, and then be like, okay, gotta go, right when she would get full, right before she gets full, so that it leaves her wanting a little more, you know, little things like that. Men in Eros learn how to do, and that's really hot, because then you're, I mean, to me, that's like being a true friend to someone. You're continually drawing out their best. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I mean. I just had this whole experience last week. You know, Matt and I go through these continual renewals of our, like, I don't know, vows, in a way you could say, where we're kind of like, we get into I think our conditioning kind of takes over, and like we get into these sticky spots, and we're like, oh God, how did we get here? I'm like trying to convince you to be in a relationship with me. And he's like, oh, I know, God, I was just doing things so that I could so I could get your approval, so I could feel like a good man. And I'm like, oh, stop it. Don't do that. It's so gross. I hate it when you do that. Like, don't do the dishes because you want me to say thank you or like think you're great. Like, just don't do them. Don't do them. I don't care. Leave the house a mess, whatever. Like, don't do it and then be mad at me because I didn't say enough thank yous, you know, for doing the dishes. Like, don't do that. So we really caught ourselves last week. And I saw the spot where I was like, it was like kind of devastating. And it was devastating because I was like, oh, on a certain level, I've been trying to convince you. There's moments where I've tried to convince you to be in this relationship with me since the beginning, of like, here's why we should continue this relationship. And I'm like, oh, I can look back and think at all the different spots where I did that. And I'm like, that was not a good idea. Like, I don't think that was actually, I did a disservice to both of us. Like, I wasn't seeing you as a true friend and like as a human being, you know. I was like dehumanizing him and being like, let me kind of, I don't know what the word is, control you or lure you or convince you or pay you to be here, to be in this relationship with me, rather than see you as a complete being unto yourself that can make your own decisions, right? And just like let you be that, so we can both show up as peers, right, on like an equal playing field. But instead, I was seeing as either above me or below me, right? Either something that I need to like, you know, get that's going to make me better as a person, or something that's below me that I need to change so that it reflects better on me, right? Rather than just being like, I'm a person, you're a person, do we want to keep doing this, right? And so I had to say, like, I had to like kind of make amends in a way. And I said to him, I was like, look, I realize there's places where I've been trying to convince you to be with me since the inception of this relationship, and I no longer will be doing that. So,
hello, husband, I have it.
Exactly.
Take a seat.
It was, oh, kind of like, what's the word? Like, it's kind of humiliating in a way, because I think that, you know, you said that how women, you know, you're like, it's so obvious where men kind of denigrate women, but women denigrate men constantly, invisibly and subtly. And just to kind of see like how I'd been doing that on a certain level. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, I actually just love you as a person, as a human. And I don't want to see you as below me ever again.
Mm. Wow, that's powerful. Yeah, I just want to like reflect how powerful that is. I really feel that. I mean, that's the kind of thing that takes years and deep practice to arrive to and feel like you have the power to do, and to like be like, oh my God, I just finally got all the way through the seeing of the math of this layer and it's finally ready to fall away, and then to take the actions that allow that to happen naturally, and really feel like you actually have power to do that. I just admire that. I think that's incredible work. Great job. Great job. Seriously, great job. I think this is another facet of erotic women conversations is like we're we're all doing all these things all the time that are so intricate and take days, months, years, decades, to arrive to. And there's not that many people in life sometimes that you can talk to about it and describe and be like, I need you to understand from the outside, it may look like we had a little conversation about something like pretty vulnerable and it went well, and we're going to shift some things. Okay. But what you need to understand is on the inside, this took a decade of like daily working and wrestling with this spot in my own soul. And it had all of these things that had to happen first before that could ever happen. And this is like insanely significant. And to be able to describe, the whole way, this is what erotic women, I feel like that's where we live in those like, well, this is a orgasmic meditation reference, right? We live in that stroke by stroke by stroke by stroke by stroke reality and celebrate each other in that place because we know how big a deal it is in those seemingly small pockets.
Huge. Yeah. And it's like, from the outside it might seem like that whole idea of like a woman gets married and then lets herself go. It's like, oh, I have a man, I can relax now.
Yeah.
But that is not what an erotic relationship is like at all. Like, it's work. It's not relaxed time. It is being so aware of every single moment of every single interaction of like every like, nope, don't do that. Nope, don't do that. Oh no, I did it again. Like like every single moment, it's a training ground. It really is a practice. It's not a relax. It's like, let's go. I love that quote, run as fast as you can towards God and see who can catch up, or like who, like that's what my relationship is like. And you can say God, or you can say liberation, you can say whatever you want, but it's like run as fast as you can towards that thing, getting out of suffering and the cause of suffering, and just see who keeps up with you, see who's like running and matches your pace. And I think that only with that foundation of a relationship, or as a woman, that foundation of my life, that I can actually live my purpose, that I can actually feel fulfilled. Because if I was making choices based on anything else because I needed to like feel okay as a woman by having a relationship, or like get my value from anything outside of me, anything at all, my job, my family, my kids, my husband, my house, my car, my friends, my community, my looks, my money, whatever, then there's everything that I do is going to be controlled by needing to maintain those things. Like, I am not free. But if I have internal value, if I know like how incredibly powerful I am without any of those things, then the choices that I can make, then I'm free. I can make choices that will lead me towards flourishing and lead the people around me towards flourishing, feel that sense of fulfillment, because I'm not afraid to lose those things, because I know those things aren't me. Those things are not my power. And I'll be honest, like I'm very familiar with that kind of, with those fears or that battle in a way, of just being like, oh, if I say this to Matt, he will probably not like it and may decide not to be with me anymore. And I'm like, well, we got to say it, regardless of the consequences.
You know how much interior wealth it takes as a woman and value to say what you just said? Like, I mean, I think most of us feel unable to name those things and risk the relationship in that way, even though we know it would be the right thing to do. I have felt that so many times in relationship where I'm like, I just can't, I don't have the power to say the thing because it will rock the boat and it may break the boat. And I'm unwilling to allow that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that is such a powerful statement that you just said. Because, and it's also, and it's you, and you said this earlier in the episode too, like, it's what you guys agreed on in your vows was to do what was right for the third that holds you both, not necessarily what you're comfortable with, or what would be like easier for you. And
Mm-hmm.
that naming those things I've found, in erotic relating, in marriages, in all the different forms of relationship, also in friendships, woman relationships, all of it, you have to be willing to say the thing that could change the relationship completely.
Honestly, I'm kind of at that edge right now. I think I'm better at doing that in my marriage than I am doing that in my friendships with women.
Mm.
It's
And it's
easier
a
for me to
whole
say the
different,
hard thing
yeah.
to a man than it is to a woman.
I mean, it's great to know that, I think different people have a different edge in different places. And I
Yeah.
get that. It's a whole other, it's a
Because
whole
it might
other,
threaten the relationship, Aubrey. You don't understand.
right?
I can handle a man being mad at me, but a woman?
A woman who's one of my best friends who, what if she never talked to me again? She's foundational to my entire existence. It's true. It's true. It's a whole other animal. That is a whole other animal.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that one next time.
Yeah. We all have our growth edges. Okay. What is that? It's perfect with room to evolve. That's
Yeah.
okay.
That's actually a beautiful note to end on. All is perfect with room to evolve. And I actually think you as a person demonstrate that really beautifully. Like, I feel like you do the work to stay in a personal sense of perfection and come from that place, like, as much as you can, and kind of emanate that. And then the field that surrounds you allows other people to remember their perfection. But you're also doing the very deep, intense work of that evolution at the same time. So yeah, thank you for doing this with me today. I absolutely love this, love our conversations, and loved getting to share it with the world with you.
So fun. These are all things I've been just waiting to say, wanting to say. So, yeah, this is brilliant. Great. I know, because you were like, Kara, you need to do woman whispering on the Eros platform. And I was like, maybe you should do a woman, maybe you need to do a woman's thing. Maybe that's what, and I'll just be part of it.
I stand by what I said. Okay. There cannot be too many conversations about and with women happening. Okay.
Fair,
We need even
fair.
more. We got a lot of liberation work to do, Kara.
We really do. We really do. We do. Okay, great.
All right. I love you. And
Love you
thank you for doing this with me. And thank you for everybody who tuned in. And we will see you next week.